I want to ask you, because I want to play a moment, and I want to ask you about a moment from the oversight hearing this week that's getting a lot of attention. The hearing was focused on the rise of white supremacy and extremist groups. You turned the tables a bit, reading a tweet written by one of the witnesses on the panel in front of you that called for accosting Supreme Court justices. Let me play just a portion for our viewers.
Do you believe your rhetoric is a threat to democracy when you're calling to accost a branch of government, the Supreme Court?
I don't believe that's a correct characterization of my
tweeted,
statements.
What happened to the Speaker's husband is every member's worst nightmare. So it's clear to me that we have to call out the threats to our democracy emanating from wherever they come, whether it's the right or the left.
From the right or the left. This caught my attention, Congresswoman, because you're in a place where a lot of members of Congress are not. First, saying that rhetoric has dangerous consequences, which some in your party do not acknowledge and don't agree with. And second, that this rhetoric is found across the political spectrum. In the moment when you were speaking to this activist, you were, of course, speaking directly to this activist. But who do you think needs to get this message?
I think everybody needs to hear this message, and I can't tell you how many times I've been called to the principal's office or the vice principal's office for getting into hot water, calling out members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. And I am a Republican in a very purple district. I've been very consistent from the first day I was sworn in January 3rd, 2021, through to today, where I've called out members on both sides of the aisle because I've experienced it. I've seen it firsthand. I've had my car keyed. My house was spray painted a year and a half ago. As recently as August, my house once again was trespassed on. I received threats from both sides of the aisle. And it's one thing, if we're going to have a standard bearer, then that standard needs to be the standard for everyone. And if you're going to come before Congress and speak out against hate speech, speak out against violent rhetoric, which I am fully supportive of speaking out against and have, don't come before the committee and then and say you support those things when you have been guilty of doing those very things and not take responsibility for it. And I think we should look at both sides that have done this consistently over the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, because folks that live in what I would say is a bellwether for the rest of the country, we see the damage it's done to us, both to businesses, to our livelihoods, to our homes, and it's wrong.
Yeah, tough conversations, I would probably imagine, within your own caucus and your own conference about this one. Congresswoman, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.